welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace and today is Monday, April 20th. This is a podcast about knitting, books, baking, and cats, but most importantly knitting, because that is what I love to do all day, every day. Especially now that we are all home. Sorry, I have something in my eye. Yes. If you'd like to follow me on any of my social medias, I have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram, so please go follow me over on there if you'd like. I also have a lot of books that I've been reading that I don't always necessarily talk about on the podcast, so if you're interested in what I'm reading, and I haven't mentioned it on here, you can go be my friend on Goodreads. I will be talking about some stuff today because I just finished a readathon and it was very fun. I feel like I have few projects to show you, but a lot of progress. So all good things, you know, all good things. I'm working on getting out of the middle of a row because I ran out of my ball of yarn that I was working at in the middle of this row, and so now we're working on it so I can show it to you and it actually looks like what it's going to be instead of a blob. And I still have something in my eye. My eyes were totally fine until I started recording, and then it was just like, not how it always works. So that's fun. I also have some test knits to show you, everyone. Are we surprised? Kind of not. I don't know. We'll discuss it, shall we? If you would like to go grab something tasty to drink, something to snack upon, something to craft upon, laundry to fold. My laundry is currently being washed. I don't know if you can hear it. Hopefully not. I don't know what that sound was. Hopefully you couldn't hear that either, but maybe you did. I don't know what that sound was. Anyway, an animal to snuggle, did I say that? Or all of the above? And you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. Here, I do have my coffee. I was not prepared. Some crafty chat, shall we? So, we're just gonna chat while I finish working on this row, because I'm literally in the middle of it. But it's just plain knitting, so it won't take very long. So, like I said before, I have a lot of progress on a few projects. Granted, I do have a finished object behind me. I finished it like maybe the day after I recorded last week, and so it was funny because like I have not blocked it or woven in any of the ends or trimmed them or whatever you want to call it. Finishing, basically. Haven't done any of that, and it's just kind of like sat in its project bag because I've been working on other things. And so when I looked at it, I was like, did I finish that? I think I showed it last week on the podcast when it was finished, and I don't need to show it again. I should probably check that. I don't actually remember. So I checked, did my research, watched like the beginning portion of my episode last week, and realized that no, I had not finished it last week. So I do have a finished object this week, which is pretty exciting. Fingers crossed, I will have a finished object for next week as well. That will be one of my test knits. I have done some crafty little math and divided out how many rows I need to do a day to get it done by Thursday. So that's the goal, because I have 2 test knits and I'd like to cast on the other test knit as soon as I cast this one off, because both are a little brain intensive. I'm excited. One of them is going to require me doing something I have literally never done before. And I'm quite excited. Maybe 2 things I've never done before. We'll think about that. Let's discuss this. I'm almost to the end of my row. So I can talk about this guy back here before I show it to you. So that is the Spring Court Sweater by Tristan of Dragon Horde Yarns. She is designing sweaters based off of A Court of Thorns and Roses, the book series. If you are familiar with that, it's by Sarah J. Maas. I actually just finished the first book on Wednesday. It was a reread for me. I greatly enjoyed it. If you're into kind of new adult fantasy, high fantasy, that kind of thing, fae and magic and all that jazz, very good. But I really enjoyed knitting the sweater, more importantly. Now we're at our end of the row. Now I can show this to you. Ta-da! It's cropped. It's got not full-length sleeves. I love it. I am so excited. It definitely needs to be blocked, as all color work does, because it just makes it even more beautiful and stunning than it already is. My main color is Dragon Horde Yarns, which is really wonderful. It is doe-eyed on her, I don't know what the base name is, but it's her sock. It's just the regular plied sock. Then I have this white, which is dye for knitting, which I used in my Free Your Fade, and then this dark green, which is Life in the Long Grass, and it's called Space Ash. The white is called Alchemy, if you are interested. So we have Doe-Eyed, Alchemy, and Space Ash. I love it so much. I am so excited. I've been contemplating the outfit that I want to wear when I take finished object pictures, because I want to have the same kind of like vibe as being in the spring court and all that jazz, but I don't know. We might go exploring around our apartment complex and may take some pictures up against a brick wall. Or, as I did in college, fun fact, if you've been watching since my college days, or actually not my college days, because I started this right after I graduated, so post-college days, episode 1, literally like, I think I had just graduated college. Anyway, in that apartment complex that I was living, the dumpster area, the trash area, was surrounded. Obviously there was like a gate in front of it so you could open it and like put your trash in. But on the other 3 sides was very beautiful like brick walls. They were brick walls and they were perfect for pictures, and it was the best because the lighting was always nice. The way that like you could pick the way you wanted your lighting basically based on which side you picked. The only downside is that you had a bunch of college students watching what you were doing, or what I was doing, and that it is what it is. So we do not have our trash thing in this apartment complex doesn't look as nice, and that's totally fine. It's not one of the things that we were looking for when we were looking for apartments, you know. The aesthetic of the dumpster was not important. What am I talking about? What kind of podcast is this? I don't know. I'm just talking about the aesthetic of our dumpster receptacle things in apartment complexes. As you do. What was I talking? Oh, exploring the complex to find pictures. But so I think that I don't know. I need to do some exploration. We have been, Sam's my husband if you're new to the podcast, we have been doing we restarted the Couch to 5K plan, running app, I don't know what you want to call it, exercise, whatever, just to like run around to get outside and also do something together, and that's been nice. Obviously we're with each other all day every day for the most part, but like actually getting to physically do something together that we're doing it separately but we're also doing it together, if that makes sense. Like, it's been very fun. We started week 2 this week. It's been great. We did it this morning. I feel real awesome because I went running. It was beautiful. The weather was great. I haven't talked about the weather yet. Wow, we're just all over the place this morning. It's not the morning anymore, it's 1:30. I'm sorry, well, let's rein this back in. What are we talking about? Okay, we're talking about the sweater, this sweater, taking pictures, finding a place to take pictures, running around the apartment complex, running, weather, niceness. Okay, so all of that is connected, oddly enough. Welcome to the Cat Podcast. This is what we do every single week. We ramble, or I ramble anyway. You very pleasantly sit there and listen, and I appreciate it. So, I apologize. I don't know what's gotten into me. Anyway, so running around the apartment complex hopefully will give me an idea. I'll be looking for good spots that's also not necessarily in a super visible place so people are not like staring at me while I do it. Ultimately that doesn't matter, but I would feel a little less self-conscious if that was the case, if not as many people were watching me. But I mean, we can make it work. So I have my tripod, I've got my little Bluetooth remote, all that jazz, the phone does the work. So yes, I need to figure that out. Take pictures. The pattern is not coming out until the end of the month, the end of April. I believe maybe potentially May 1st. Sometime soon. But I do think that Tristan has or has had kits out of her yarn for this sweater, which her colors are stunning. So if you haven't checked that out and you really, really want to knit this sweater, which I would highly recommend, having knit the sweater, you should make this sweater. Go check out her kits if she still has them, because she just can't go wrong. Her colors are amazing, and this really needs to be blocked. But like I said, all color work needs to be blocked. Give it a little stretch there. One thing that I did for the whole color work section of this sweater, I thought I was gonna have nothing to say about this sweater besides the basic information, and look at me go. I've been talking for almost 15 minutes about it. Oh, it's a pleasant surprise. You know, I was thinking I wouldn't have very much to say, but apparently I do. See, this is what I'm assuming, or not I'm assuming, I would know. What having an actual conversation with me might be like, which is why I don't have a lot of plans. I don't have a script. I have things that I say every week, and then the rest of it is just like, bleh. But in a nice, pleasant way, of course. I try. And hopefully it's enjoyable. I try to be funny. Hopefully it's funny. What was I talking about? Oh, I remember. I was going to say, I did this with all this color work, and I've done it a little bit with the other color work project that I'm working on, but not as much because it's a little, it's different. The charts are a little bit different. But with this one, I did it completely two-handed, which if you're not a knitter, that sounds confusing, because I knit with my two hands all the time. But what I mean is that I did the color work two-handed. So what that means, everything has meaning. What that means is that I had one color over one finger, and I had the other color over the other finger, and I knit two different ways. Which, this is not my first sweater to do that with. My first one was the yellow sweater that I knit at the beginning of the year. Which was really wonderful. That was a good learning experience, and I really very much enjoy it. I think my tension is definitely evened out. I'm still figuring out how to tension it correctly around my hand, because sometimes it pulls and it gets it really tight, which is why I have some puckery places. But you know what? Again, we always block our color work or we steam it or something like that. We get it to relax. So yeah, definitely enjoying the two-handed color work life. Pretty awesome. Not doing it currently. Again, I'm not gonna show you, but I'm gonna, because that would be showing you the pattern. I'm not gonna do that, but I'm gonna talk about it, and then you'll understand, I think. So yes, learning something new, getting better at new techniques, always good. And yeah, I need to give it a block. This, that should probably happen today because I need to take pictures soon. But yeah, I'm very happy with it. I think it'll be a nice, like, the colors can go spring, summer, fall, winter, really. It's lightweight enough so I can wear it in the summer or the spring if I wanted to, or even into the fall when it still is hot here because Texas. It's very cool today. It's surprisingly cool. The high was this is the weather chat now. The high was supposed to be 85 today, but upon stepping outside to bring in our trash can, also talking a lot about our trash this week. That's odd. Bring in our trash can. It was still pretty chilly. And I'm not complaining, It's not cold, but it's definitely not hot, and I would much prefer that, because I'm not a fan of the hot and the humid. Anyway, so, what have I been working on? So let's just start with this thing first since it's in my lap. This is my Anna's Cardigan by Petite Knit. This has gotten so much work. I have done so much. And I even put in a progress keeper on Saturday to show you what I can get done in 3 days, or basically 2 days, because I just finished half a row today. So today doesn't count. So who knows what will happen by next week. Maybe I'll have a finished sweater. I haven't even shown it to you yet, so you don't know what I'm talking about. Probably should just show it to you. Here is my Anna's Cardigan by Petite Knit. It's very basic, very simple. Just a everyday cardigan with eyelets. I'm knitting it out of Drops Charisma. Let me get a ball band for you. This was purchased at Slip Stitch in London. Would highly recommend checking out the shop's website. It'll be linked in the show notes. But yes, last week, don't remember where I was in showing this to you. Don't know if I had even divided for the sleeves yet. Clearly, divided for the sleeves, knit quite a lot in the body. So, I'm very excited about this. It's definitely been my mindless knit as of late, which has been nice. I'm enjoying it. I think it'll be super cute. I think it will be a good everyday cardigan. So I need to finish the body. I do need to be very aware of my yarn that I have left, because I just started this new ball and then I've got 2 balls left. And I have the sleeves and the button bands. So I probably need to measure how long from underneath the arm it's going to be and plan accordingly, and then adjust the rest of it. Because I know there are more like technical ways of dealing with that, like knitting the sleeves first and the button bands and stuff like that, and then finishing the body. Because in the scheme of things, the sleeves and the button bands, probably sleeves are first, then the button bands, then the rest of the body. Because if that didn't make sense, I don't know if that actually makes sense. I'm just saying words. Because when sleeves, like, that would look weird to drastically change the color right at the, like right there. That would look weird. So we want to make sure that the sleeves are the same color, right? Button bands, people have done that in a different color if they have to. It's a nice design element. Length of the body can be easily adjusted. And that can also technically like be faded into a different color. Don't think I'm gonna need to do that because I would prefer it to be more cropped than be longer. So that's my thought process. I could do that, but also that would take more planning than I have put into this sweater. But I would also say that this, because of the eyelet pattern and the instructions for this eyelet pattern, you kind of just have to put them where it looks good. And sometimes I don't always do that correctly, you know? Sometimes I'm not paying attention and I knit an extra like 4 rows and I have to rip it out. That's fun. I love doing that. I don't. It's not fun. But like also I had messed up. I had put eyelets in the wrong space because I wasn't paying attention, and I tried to make it work. There was one day where I was very distracted. I don't remember what was going on, but I was very distracted and I was doing my row of eyelets and I just stopped halfway and continued knitting. Didn't do the rest of the eyelets. And so in my mind I was like, that'll be okay, you know, no big deal. I'll just, because I think when I figured it out I had already purled back. So I was like, okay, no big deal. I'll just do the other half of the eyelets on this row that's like 2 rows after that row. No one will notice. It was very noticeable. I tried to make it work, but it did not. So I just ripped back and fixed it. So, and these are very, very simple little, literally knit 2 together yarn over. Nothing fancy. So this is just as an example that regardless of how much you've knit, regardless of the things that you knit, you may pump out like colorwork sweaters every other week. And you can still mess up on the simplest thing. Like it does not matter in your level. You can make mistakes anywhere, and that's okay because that's what knitting is. It's the beauty of knitting. If you make a mistake, you just strip it out and you do it over again. Unless you cut your yarn, in which case you might have a little bit more tricky of a situation. But I hadn't cut my yarn. So, feeling very sassy today. This is just a sassy episode. So anyway, I do have a little progress keeper here. This is from Little Bitty Delights. I actually have some to show you that I got recently, which is very exciting. But this is a little coffee with donut. And the donut has like sparkles on it and I love it. So anyway, this was placed on Saturday. This is what all I got done between yesterday evening and Saturday. Yeah, so I'm just really enjoying it. Like I said, it's a good mindless knit for sure. And hopefully this will be done soon. I would really, really like that. So yes, that is my Anna's Cardigan by Petite Knit. So next up is one of my test knits, and this is a colorwork cowl. It's by Lost and Fawn. Lindsay. She designed the Bennett sister shawl, I believe. Yes, and the Bronte sister shawl. Her designs are truly gorgeous. Let's see if I can show you a picture. This is what the cowl will look like. Super fun, love it. And I went stash diving, surprise, surprise. Had so much fun. My colors are amazing. in my mind, and I saw that picture and I was like, I'd really like to test knit that. It'll just go really nice and neutral and be like super pretty. We'll have like a really nice like contrasting color that will really show it off on the neutral background. And so I'm saying all this, and when you see my main color, my background color, you will laugh because it's anything but neutral. And there's nothing wrong with that, and I'm loving every single minute of it. It is bringing me such joy because, ta-da! Right? Nothing neutral about this at all. And I'm very sad that this camera is blowing this main color out of proportion because it's not accurate at all. It's, I don't know how long I've had this skein of yarn. It's Tosh DK, I do know that, and I don't remember what the colorway name is, but it's basically like a hot pink, hot red, hot orange mixture of colors. Plus some Noro. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely an interesting color work chart in that it doesn't like necessarily repeat itself. It's not like a super repetitive color work chart like you would have in like a sweater like this. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the nature of the pattern. That being said, I am getting a little bit more in the groove of it. Today's amount of rows that I need to knit, I think I need to knit about 7 more to get it done by Thursday. I'm really loving it. I think it's super fun. There's like 2 repeats of this one motif and then this like tree, which is kind of hard to see. You can kind of see it. So I believe, I'm not sure, she might have used Spin Cycle in her original one, but I'm using this Tosh DK, and then this Noro Kaibu, which is cotton, wool, and silk. But yeah, I just thought it was super fun. It's super different. Wouldn't necessarily like put all these colors together. This green and this red is like giving me super Christmassy vibes, but that's okay. I mean, that's the beauty of Noro, because we can go from Christmas to like ice blue to orange to purple back to green again, and it just looks beautiful in stuff that calls for or looks good in like long color repeats. It's just wonderful. It makes my heart sing. So really, really loving this. It's super fun. And yeah, like I said, I would like to have it done by Thursday, or at least get the color work done by Thursday. And then after that, it's like I've just got to do the ribbing and stuff, which doesn't take very long. So that's very exciting. The other test knit that I have to do, I have not started yet. But I do have a picture of what it's going to look like. If I can find it really quick. I got yarn from Tricot, the yarn store in Waco that is owned by my friend Allison. This sweater is by the woolly one. I don't know if this has a name yet. Don't think it's got a name yet, but anyway, this is Roos, the woolly one on Instagram. It's basically this like slouchy, oversized, can we see that and not get the glare? There we go, it's a little better. Slouchy brioche sweater. So I am very excited about this because, like I mentioned at the beginning, I will be doing at least one thing I have never done before. Where is my yarn that I pulled a skein out to show you. Where did it go? I know it was somewhere. Oh, it fell down. That's why. That's why I couldn't find it. So she has it written to be a fingering and mohair, or like a sport or light DK. So I'm actually going to be using vintage DK. I really like this gray color. I think it'll be really very neutral. Always good. We love a good neutral, and we love a good pop of color, you know, to mix it up. Super awesome. Will look super cute with jeans. I can't wait to wear it. But anyway, so first off, the one thing that I hadn't thought about before, I have never done brioche in a sweater that I can remember. I don't think I have. So that's gonna be fine. That's literally taking two things that I've done before and putting them together, and that's totally fine. No big deal. The other thing I have never done before, and if I'm being completely honest, I'm a little apprehensive. Full transparency, full honesty right now. It's off of a brioche chart, which in my not super huge experience with brioche, I had not actually seen a brioche chart before. Never worked from a brioche chart. Looked like quite a lot. That being said, I know for a fact I felt the exact same way about a lace chart. I felt the exact same way about a colorwork chart. Like, I know I got this. I know I can do it. It's really not going to be that huge a deal, but just looking at it and being like, whoa, that's a lot of symbols that I don't know what they mean, and they're all making like weird other symbols when you combine them, and what is going on? What am I supposed to do? So this will be a fun experience, which is why I have put off casting it on, because like you cast it on and you go straight into that brioche pattern. And so in my mind I was like, whew, let's finish this colorwork cowl that you know you got down. Finish that first, and then like fully immerse yourself in this brioche chart. Also, say brioche chart 10 times fast, because for some reason I am just really struggling to say that correctly. I'm gonna slow it down. Slowly talk. Which doesn't really go with the vibe of this episode today, you know? We're just really, you know. So that's exciting. Like I said, I haven't cast it on yet. Hopefully we'll do it this coming weekend. Friday, maybe Saturday, I don't know. It's knit on bigger needles, so that's nice. So it's got a little bit more of an open gauge. Also means that it could go a little bit more quickly. I've gotten so many scam calls today. That's fun. I'm sure you really cared to know about that. But yeah, so hopefully knitting on a bigger needle, and obviously with the nature of brioche, it is a little bit more open anyway, and it's, so I don't know how to describe it, but the nature of brioche, it does stretch a little bit more, it's a little bit more open, and so I have adjusted the size that I'm going to be making, which is very interesting. I'm making a size that's significantly smaller than what I would normally make and what I actually am, but because of the nature of the sweater and the nature of brioche, the yarn and the needle size, everything about it, I'm knitting a much smaller size. Which will be interesting. I mean, I have no doubt that it'll work out the way that I had envisioned in my mind, because I know I got this. But yeah, I think it'll be very interesting. I don't normally, I love positive ease. I love oversized things so much. Like, if I could live in all oversized things, probably would. Love good positive ease. And so I like that a lot of patterns you can have like control over how much positive ease you have, Depending on the size that you're making, you can, if you don't want 24 inches of positive ease, you can have just 10 inches of positive ease, and all that jazz. And then that gets into the whole discussion of positive ease and what does that mean and how does that work and all that jazz. But yeah, so that's just a little bit behind my thought process going into this sweater. It's definitely going to be a fun adventure. I wouldn't say challenge necessarily, except for the chart. The chart will be a challenge. We might have to go back to like color coding each symbol. Did that learning lace, did that learning cables. I remember so many times like physically highlighting my cable patterns. Yep. And now I don't cable with a cable needle, and look at me now. So I have no doubts that I can do this brioche thing. We're just gonna have positive thoughts, cross our fingers, cross our toes. I just lifted up my foot like you could see my foot, but whatever. It's the thought that counts. I told you that I lifted up my foot like I'm gonna cross my toes. Not that I can, but because that has nothing to do with knitting. So let's move on, shall we? So the next project that I really want to work on, that is not a test knit and not a languishing whip, is my Powder and Dust shawl by Vera Valimaki. I have not made any progress on this since you last saw it. I really need to move my progress keeper, but that just shows you that I haven't made any progress because I haven't even moved the progress keeper. This, I'm in like the last lace section, so it's not mindless for me currently, but it is very enjoyable. So I am getting close to starting the third and final color, I believe. But yeah, I need to pull this out and work on this. I really enjoy working on it. I'm working on it as a knit along with a friend from the yarn store. Her name's Andrea. She has just recently pulled hers out again, and so it's been just very inspiring, and I want to work on it. But the Anna's cardigan needs to get done. The cowl needs to get done. I need to figure out how brioche charts work. All that jazz. And then in addition to that, we have this guy. So I keep saying that I'm gonna cast something on, and then I never do. Which is such a weird problem to have. Is it a problem? I don't know. It's a situation. Let's go with situation, because problem implies a bad thing. I don't know if this is a bad thing necessarily. It's just a thing. It's a fact of life. Of my life, anyway. Oh my, this is such a rambly episode. That's not a bad thing. It's a fact of life, you know? It's just a fact of my life today. So, the past several weeks, I pulled out yarn that I have of projects that I want to make, whether they be small or large or whatever. And then I get test knits that I like with the cowl. I wasn't expecting to get that, and then the brioche sweater just kind of happened. And so I cast on the cowl and didn't really feel like I wanted to cast anything on, or felt like I could. I know I could, but like, I don't know. So I sat down however long ago when I first started recording this, getting everything set up. I looked at the pile of yarn that's literally behind you on this little bookshelf that's right here. And I looked at the pile of yarn, and I kept looking at this DK Life in the Long Grass, and it's going to be some kind of really easy cowl that's knit on a big needle. And I was like, this is what I need right now. I need this. I need it. I need the process of knitting it. I need the process of knitting something small that doesn't require a lot of brain work, because we've got a lot of big things that don't require brain work. We need something small that doesn't require a lot of brain work. This is also special yarn. I've got good memories. It brings me joy. It's on big needles, hopefully. I will be knitting it on big needles. It's something that I can just go until I want to stop and cast off. This may be a thing that I purposefully like have to wind up and then be like, this is a treat. Treat yourself. I've been working so hard on other things that are not new cast-ons. And granted, like I said last week, or I don't remember when I said this, but for me, what has really been bringing me joy is finishing old things and finishing stuff that I have on my needles. And that has been like, I've been living for that. I've become such a monogamous knitter. It is insane. I say monogamous and I show you all these projects that I'm working on, but I'm currently, like, I've just been working on this cowl and Anna's cardigan for like the past 5 days. Like, really, that's all I've been doing. But like, I think this would, I feel like this is kind of one of those things when you're like, you go past the point of being so hungry that you don't realize that you're hungry anymore, and then when you start eating something, you're like, whoa, 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 I am so hungry. I really needed this. I didn't know how badly I needed this. Or being thirsty or whatever. I don't know. Is that a good example? I don't know. Does that make sense? In my mind, that makes sense. But anyway, so I feel like if I cast this on, if I'm like, okay, I know that like I should do this, this would make me happy. And if I just go through the process, and then I'll realize it, or like in my mind, I'll just get all these like happy endorphins of casting on something that is not necessarily test knit, and it's just like, oh, this does not have a deadline. This is very nice. I can just chill and enjoy it and not feel bad about it. Not that we've been feeling bad about anything, but like there's just no pressures. Very chill. Like, I keep looking at this like section right here, and on camera, like also in person, like it's just so happy. Like this mixture of like this oranges and these like rust colors. But then we've also got blues and blacks and grays and greens. Like, why? What is stopping me? That is the question I should ask myself. Why am I stopping myself from casting something on? This is going to happen soon. Yes. I think the honey cowl is what I'm going to do. Very simple, easy to remember. Will fly by because I will use a big needle and I will love it because it'll be so drapey and beautiful, and I'll just enjoy every minute of it. So, very exciting. Looking forward to showing you this. I'm not going to say that I'm going to show it to you as a cast on for next week because I don't know if it's going to happen, but I will do my best. And I say that, and then I'm going to cast this on, and then next week's going to roll around and I'm going to have like 6 new cast ons. That won't happen. I'm not going to let that happen. I don't want that to happen. It's okay. It's okay. I've talked a lot about this yarn. Well, let's change subjects, shall we? Let's move on. Time to move on. So, very quickly, I just want to kind of wrap up with some books. and some baking, I think. Yeah. Let's start with baking, shall we? Also, I have space buns today. My hair has grown so much and I love it so much. And I can do space buns again and I'm so excited. I'm just waiting for the day I can braid it. That will bring me such joy. Because we're all living for things that bring us joy right now, right? That's what we're living for. So, baking-wise, last week I had quite the wonderful adventure because I made sourdough, oatmeal, chocolate chip, banana muffins, which is quite a lot of descriptors for the muffins. But oh my goodness, they are so good. I don't think I will ever make regular muffins again. Like, at this point, it's really... what can I want to add sourdough to everything. Anything and everything. Like, if I can have a sourdough version of it, I'm probably going to enjoy it way more. I'm probably going to like the taste way more. No shame. So yeah. The main issue right now is just being a little bit more picky about what I bake. Just because the limitations on flour are a thing and you can't find all kinds of flour at this point, and now it's definitely helped me with baking and my cooking just to be a little bit more experimental. And it's just like, you know what, I don't have that. I'm just gonna use what I think would work and hope it works. And for the most part things have worked out, and it's just very exciting because it just brings me confidence in my baking and my cooking, and just like, whoa, I know way more than I thought I did. This is really awesome. I am so happy about this. So yes, I made those muffins. They are so good, so good. I don't know what this week's thing is going to be. I don't know, I've been baking things like in the middle of the week, and so it kind of just shifts everything. I don't know if I like that or not. I don't know. I need to figure it out. I don't know. This is not a time to sit and ponder the life of my starter and like how to work that into the everything else. Anyway, don't know what it's gonna be next. There are some discard crackers that my mom made recently that look and sound incredible. And that's discard, so I could do that. That would be pretty easy. And I don't think that uses very much flour. And then I might want to make, like, I have a box thing of brownies or something I might make. That might be fun. Might do that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Doesn't matter right now. We're just verbally processing right now. Though that's not what this podcast is. I do that a lot. Also, in the reading world, this past Thursday through Sunday was a readathon. It was called the Reading Rush, which normally happens in June? August? I don't know. It's usually a summer event, and it's all week. And the two girls who run it, they have a book podcast that I really love, and one of them has a booktube as well that I really enjoy, and so I actually found out about this readathon through them. But they decided to have a 4-day long reading rush this past weekend because we're all at home. And so all the prompts, there were 4 prompts, they were all kind of based around things like being at home. So one of them was like, read a book with a house on the cover. Read a book completely in the same room. Read one that will make you smile, and then read a book that is set in a place that you want to go to, real or not real. So very like open prompts, nothing too specific. I had a lot of fun. I did pick out 4 books, one for each prompt. I didn't finish all 4. I finished 2 and like almost finished the 3rd one. I was really tired last night and like had to go to bed. also while playing Animal Crossing, because that did happen. I love Animal Crossing. It's so much fun. Yes, so, but we're talking about books right now. So, books. I read Watching You by Lisa Jewell, which is a thriller mystery, which was very good. Gave it 4 stars. I read, for the very first time, Twilight by Stephanie Myers. Myers? I don't know. I should know that. But oh my, another scam call. People, I'm recording a podcast. Do you not know that? So I read Twilight for the first time. That was highly entertaining. I cannot wait to read the rest of the books in the series. I started and almost finished The Hunting Game by Lucy Foley, which I read it because she is just about to come out with her new book, or it has already come out, called The Guest List. And literally everyone I follow on BookTube, all my favorite booktubers, are like ranting and raving about how good this book is, The Guest List. And so, since I did not have access to that yet, I was like, well, she's written another book, I might as well give that one a try. It was very good. Didn't give it 5 stars, but it was very, very good. So I'm very excited about this new one called The Guest List. It was, again, another thriller mystery, murder mystery type thing. The one that's about to come out, The Guest List, I've heard is described as something that's very similar to Agatha Christie Knives Out, the movie type thing. So I'm very excited to read that when it becomes available. And then the 4th book that I had to read was just something that came into my loans on the library that I've been waiting a long time for, and so that was going to be the one that I read in the same place. So because Watching You had a house, Twilight definitely made me smile. The Hunting Game was set in like the Highlands in Scotland, so beautiful. And then I was just gonna sit in the living room and read The Girl in the Gatehouse, The Girl of the Gatehouse, ooh, I don't know, by Julie Klassen. And I have read many of her books before. The Girl in the Gatehouse. Which is like very fluffy, very wonderful, super escapism, wonderful. I loved all these books. And like I said, I just finished 2 within the span of the 4 days, which like still, by the time I think I had like 3 hours left in the whole readathon, I had read 1,020 pages, which I know I could do better, but also that's a lot of pages. So I'm pretty happy with that. I am really just flying through books at this point. I'm really loving that. I'm also listening to audiobooks while I play Animal Crossing and just living for that. It is so wonderful. Yeah, so I got a lot of reading done the past couple days. Really enjoyed that. I've also got 2 more books that just came into the library for me. I don't remember what they are, but we'll figure that out. Doesn't matter right now because I'm reading other stuff. So, fun fact, I love readathons. Probably not a surprising fact. Probably didn't even need to state it as a fact because it's already pretty much known and out there. Anyway, so we talked about books, baking, all the knitting. Birdie's asleep on the bed. Birdie has a habit of nesting on the bed as soon as we get up, if he's not already on the bed when we wake up, and so it makes making the bed very difficult, so then we have to make the bed around him and he gets super grumpy, which is what happened today. So he's sleeping in the half-made bed. Not all the pillows have been put up, so he can sleep in his favorite spot, which is pretty much where I sleep. And so as soon as I move, he hops up there, up against my pillows, so the space is still warm. And then he becomes a little cine roll, and it's so hard to move him because he's just too cute. Yes, so now we've talked about cats as well. That is all that I have for this week's episode. I'm very glad how this episode went. I personally feel like I had fun recording it. I hope you had fun watching it. I came into this episode not thinking I would have a lot to talk about, and I just sat down, started talking, and everything came out. So, fun times. Fun times. Hopefully it's not super rambly. I apologize if it was. Hopefully gave you a smile, inspired to pick up certain projects. I don't know. Try brioche charts. Have you ever done brioche charts? I don't know. Is this a common thing? Because I really honestly had not seen a brioche chart up until that point, and I was like, whoa, okay. Do you have any experience? If you do, please let me know. I would be very interested to find that out. But again, I know I can do it. I know I can. I just need to sit down and do it. But not until the cowl is finished, because that's getting done. Got 7 rows left to do today. Please follow me on my social medias if you have desire to do so. Also yarn store information, I forgot to talk about that at the beginning. I work at the Modern Skein. I'm currently closed, obviously, with all this stuff going on. Online orders and all that jazz. Yes. So, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. You continue to have a wonderful week. If you have crafty plans, I hope that they are successful. Pull out all those languishing whips, pull out all those current whips, cast on all the things. Whatever brings you joy, you do that. Cast on one thing, cast on 10 things. You do you. If you have the needles free for that, by all means, that just sounds wonderful. I feel like I do too, but that would not bring me joy, so I'm not going to. But if that brings you joy, that is wonderful. Hope everyone is staying safe and healthy and inside. Who knows what is going to happen? I don't know. It's just a matter of waiting to see what people say at this point. So who knows what that's gonna be or when that's gonna be. But in the meantime, we can knit, we can read, we can bake, we can snuggle the cat, still do things like the laundry, because that doesn't stop. You know, regular life things don't stop. Yes. Just a thought and it stopped. Just stopping it right there. Yes, so I've got lots of projects to work on, got things I could pull out to work on as well that I haven't been working on as consistently. Hope to finish some things, maybe multiple things, maybe cast something else on. Be really nice. I would enjoy that. I know I would. So does this have cashmere in it? I feel like it does. I don't know if it says. Oh no. Fine superwash. That's why it feels so soft. It's the fine superwash merino. It's just so soft. It's getting a little fuzzy, but fun memories. I love it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for enduring my random ramblings today. Lots of laughter. Lots of making myself laugh. Because, you know, sometimes you do what you gotta do. Sometimes you think you're hilarious, and that's awesome. Make yourself laugh. I do that quite often. I try to make Sam laugh, and in the process I make myself laugh. Because I am so hilarious. I know I'm not the only person. I know I'm not the only person. Anyway, again, stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands. Hope you enjoy just being able to stay safe and knit, all that jazz. Hopefully, if you're homeschooling your kids now, hopefully that's going well. More power to you. You are doing a wonderful job. It's okay. We're all doing our best at this point. It's okay. It will not last for forever. And then when it's not the case anymore, things will slowly get back to the new normal and it'll all be okay. And we'll still be knitting all the time. Because knitting will never go away. And we love knitting. And if you're not a knitter, that's okay. There's always reading and baking and all the other hobbies that are out there. Your hobby hopefully will never go away. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying at this point. We're gonna go. So, thank you so much for watching. All that jazz. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.